Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. My apologies for the tardiness, everyone. My apologies for the tardiness. All right. First, we got to do a little bit of house cleaning. Um, so first, um, for everyone that hit me up on email, first let's say to Compassionate, I read the email you sent me. I'm gonna reply to it. Give me a minute. Um, and to everyone else that are sending me emails, I see the emails. Mr. Z just got a lot going on right now. Life is lifing, obviously. I'm gonna reply to everyone's emails. Give me a minute, right? So I do see the emails. I do see them. I'm clicking them. Yes, I'm reading them, and I'm watching the videos or listening in. It's a lot. Mr. Z, I need a secretary, right? And look out for either tomorrow or Friday. I'll try to hurry up and stream before Dr. Thunder if it's Friday. Check out Mr. Z maybe tomorrow night, if not Friday morning. We will be responding to a about minute long video that Real Talk with Yanni posted on her channel. I'll don't worry, I'll set everything up so you guys can check out the video before the stream. It's about a minute long, so it's nothing too crazy. Where Real Talk with Yanni plays a brother sitting in his car, and he's waxing poetic about how well women are doing and how black women are earning more than black men, and how essentially they're just looking for black women are just looking for black men to carry their weight. Once again, this speaks to us how strong the propaganda is and how strong decades of black men ain't ish rhetoric and propaganda and black women pushing this to the point where even black men believe it. So this is a young brother, and you could tell he actually believes that black women are doing better than black men. Black women have more money than black men. Black women have more wealth than black men. Now we know this is factually inaccurate. Like, this is not up for conjecture. This is not opinion, etc., etc. So I'll be discussing this once again tomorrow, and we'll go through once again all the information we already know, that black men earn more than black women. Not only that, black men have more wealth than black women, almost by 3 times, right? We already know, according to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, black women have the least amount of wealth in America. So this brother, and then Real Talk with Yanni and her snarky self, the title is, ooh, they're not gonna like this, because the propaganda is that strong. And not only that, we already know that above $50,000 a year, there are 500,000 more black men that earn more in every income bracket above 50,000 than black women. 500,000 more black men. But, let black women say it, tell it, right? So, exactly, Trill. Yawn. It's another brother, and this is what, by the way, this is what is seen as black female empowerment. What is seen as black female empowerment is black men and black women, black LGBTQ and black straight, black lower class and black upper class, right? Everyone just defecating on straight black men. That straight black men aren't carrying their weight, right? What was the article? What did it say again? Straight black men are the weakest link of the black community. Meanwhile, so much of the data and the information says different. When it comes to wealth, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to income, when it comes to hours put in at work, when it comes to debt, etc., etc. Even when it comes to outcome of children, when you're left as a single parent, all the data says that black men are carrying more. What did Dr. Richard Reeve say? Overproducing, overexerting ourselves. But the propaganda and the black men ain't ish rhetoric is so strong. It's so prevailing that even young black men, that's frightening. Even young black men, to placate black women, you got to defecate on black men. And that's what we see. There is no way to uplift black women without at least subtly jabbing at black men, insinuating, implying, and suggesting that black women are doing so much because black men are lacking so much. And shout out to FD Signifier. Shout out to Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. Shout out to Consciously. Shout out to T1J. Shout out to all of these Diallo Kenyatta, Dr. Jared Ball, Geechee Yard. They don't know how to do it any other way. Huh? Shout out to this young brother. They don't know how to do it you cannot speak positively about black women in a vacuum. You have to jab and punch and insult and demean and question black men's masculinity and manhood and their effectiveness. You can't help it. There is no other way, right? And so we'll pause right there on that. I will be reviewing that tomorrow. And that was just a bit of a rant from Mr. Z concerning this, right? Okay, let's continue. All right, y'all. On to the main subject. Shout out to Louis, right? Louis Conyer, Red Pill Sleeper Cell. Y'all check out the links in the description. So I have that, and I have an old clip from Dr. Green Gorilla going back over a year now. It might even be approaching 2 years at this point. The decline of marriage, I think the title was. Shout out to Green Gorilla. I will bring this up once or twice a year at least for the rest of my days, because I think it was just a perfect and accurate reading. And what you see with the stream that and I want to say it was Clubhouse probably that Louis posted, and hopefully Louis catches this a little bit later. Is a conversation with ADOS folks. It sounds like a brother in the UK, or at least he was from the UK, I want to say he said, or he spent time in the UK, and African brothers and sisters. I'm not sure from what country. Now, if y'all read my title, it's Black People plus Feminism plus Capitalism equals, right? And it's exclamation mark, question mark. What I am suggesting to everyone is that the developing countries and quote unquote developed countries have a very interesting dynamic going on where the women swear to themselves that they can do without men, at least on an individual basis, maybe not macro, but on an individual basis. Now, to all the women, and this goes back to what I was saying about the clip that Real Talk with Yanni posted, that continue to say women are doing better than men financially, particularly in the black community. I don't know what's going on in the different countries in Africa, but at least in the black American context, no, they are not. Right? So it would sit there. Now, let me get into something, because I really want to talk about this on a macro level, but we got to go micro for a second. So the host of the show, of this stream, apparently she did not hear when the African sister did call the men dumb and stupid, black men dumb and stupid. She did say it. She admitted it later on when the African brother pressed her. Okay. What you saw with the host of the show, we expect you to be biased. That's to be expected. What is frightening is not only did she not hear that the African sister call black men dumb and stupid, or men in writ large dumb and stupid. Okay, cool. She also interpreted what the African sister said far more graciously, right? For those of you that caught that, she interpreted a far more gracious version of what the African sister said instead of hearing dumb and stupid. This speaks to why Meek Mills is still, right, whatever situation Meek Mills got with that judge, that black female judge. This speaks to Fannie Willis. This speaks to that attorney that we've all seen the clip and Sarge Willie Pete used to have on his channel, where the black female attorney is pressing the white male judge to give the black young man defendant more time, not to be as lenient. Huh? What we can see here is when black women are given the power, especially over black men, this is how they see black men. They allow black women to run amok. Anybody want to say the black community? and they're far more punitive on black men than they are on black women. They're far more gracious on black women than they are on black men. Anybody want to say the black community? Now, what you heard here was a 1 foot in insulting black men and a 1 foot in making, but this is 1 foot in insulting black men and 1 foot in moving black men into quote unquote just being men when it suits you. So we insult black men for not being men on one hand, and then we insult black men because of what quote unquote men writ large have done throughout ages. Now, we already know that the data shows that black men are far more egalitarian than every other group of men, particularly in America. We're speaking about America. Now, even when you speak to sociologists, I think it was, what's her name? R.W.S. Connell, right? Dr. Green Gorilla has referred to her. Dr. Tommy Curry has referred to her. This is a white woman who says that black men do not practice this patriarchy of white men, because to be a patriarch, it takes a very particular class level. It takes you have to perform patriarchy. It takes a number of things. You can't just be boss hog in your house. That's not necessarily patriarchal, right? So what you hear from these African women is this talk of patriarchy in a particular type of failed patriarchy, right? What you also heard, and this is what I love about this essentializing language that comes from women. Whenever women are pressed, that includes black women, they always threaten to not have children. Ah, you gotta love it. Shout out to all you feminists from the 1950s and 60s and 70s who told us, no, women are more than just their bodies. And when they're pressed, what's the first thing they do? They threaten men not to have their children. Not our children, but men's children. Oh, you gotta love it. Yes, even black women, even African women engage in that. Right? Even black women, even African women engage in that. You better love it. I said you better love it. You gotta love it. Well, you better love it because that's what it is, right? That's what it is. So the threat, this is always the threat. This is why Mr. Z says, let them talk. Shout out to Louis for bringing this to us. See, you let African women talk. You let black American women talk. You let black women from the UK talk. And this is how they sound. Huh? Now, what I will say to the African brother is welcome to hell. Huh? Now, are these women going to be myopic as hell? Yes. Is it going to be short-sighted as hell? Yes. Right? Single black and single Latina women, single and childless Latina women, single and childless black women have the least amount of wealth in America. That's what the data says. That's what the information says, right? That's what it says. Y'all give Z 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Right? That's what the data says, and Mr. Z's back. Huh? So to the African black women and the black American black women and the black women from UK, whoever was on that panel, this obsession with empowerment language has got black people, particularly directed towards black women. This is what we got to stress. This obsession with empowerment language and this language of being liberatory and liberating to black women, not being under the yoke of black men, right? Not being under black men's thumb, not having to adhere to black men's rules, black men's idea of manhood, black men's idea of womanhood, men's idea of relationships and intimacy and sex and family formation. This obsession with being liberated from black men, because we know that's what it really is, and blackness by extension, oops. This obsession with empowerment language, once again directed primarily and specifically to black women, got black people looking dumb, particularly black women. No, black women, you do not make more than black men. You don't. You don't earn more than black men. You don't have more wealth than black men. You don't start more businesses than black men, and you are more debt than black men. These are facts. These are not feelings. Huh? See, this online, and this is something that I've said before to our academics in this space. These online discussions are spreading like wildfire, and you hear how the women sound. FD signifier. Oh, rhyming, right? So much so that everyone is spewing. This is it. Let's pause right here. Let's pause right here. If we understand the propaganda of white supremacy and anti-blackness, if we understand the propaganda of black degradation that so many buy into, including some black people, I'm looking at you, black women, right? If we understand how decades and centuries of anti-blackness causes people around the world, including black people, to look at black people, this is where Afro pessimists come in. If we understand, okay, this person does not know what they're doing, getting away from you, right? If we understand that decades and centuries of anti-blackness, what it's done to the image of black people, then how is it that all of a sudden black women don't understand how this fake ass empowerment language has impacted them over the past few decades? Huh? How is it that they don't appreciate that? We are watching black women who have the least amount of wealth in America speak to us as if they are holding the black community up on their shoulders. You know, years ago, Kim Foster did a two-part think piece where she spoke about black women in luxury. And I want to say at the end of the second one, she spoke about how, and it was a rhetorical question, but she spoke about how, is it really a coincidence that while we're going through this financial struggle in America, in the middle of the end of COVID-19 and everybody's struggling financially, that black women in luxury is being pushed on black women. This type of weird backwards propaganda that's being pushed on black women in specific. And it was very interesting hearing Kim Foster say that. But I agree with her. Right? Everybody's struggling. We're coming out of COVID-19. Is a COVID-19 recession going on, but yet all you hear is about black women in luxury, right? And I say this is exactly what's happening to black women on a daily basis when it comes to how far up black women have gone over the past few centuries, and how much black men are a hindrance to black women's progress, and how much black women can do when they shake off the shackles that are black men. Once again, I've said it, black men are the anchor on black women's ankles type of rhetoric, right? And you've heard this over and over and over and over again. It's been implied, it's been suggested, and black women have just outright said it, right? Black men are an anchor on black women's ankles, right? That is what you heard on this panel. And at the end of the day, to sum it all up, what we have here are women who swear they're doing better than their male counterparts, and they're livid that they're stuck with the men that they're doing better than. But here's the problem: you're actually not. See, at least in America, once again, I don't know what's going on in Africa. I'm not 100% sure what's going on in the UK. But if the UK reflects anything like what's going on in America, black men are doing better financially. And not only are black men doing better financially, because black women swear they're doing better financially, which gives them this extra chip on their shoulder that they feel like they're stuck with underperforming, underachieving black men. Black men are then saying, you know what, then you can have that. I'll marry out. And now what, black women? Uh-oh. And that's another black man that gets his passport. And another black man that practices SYSBM. Huh? Once again, dear black women, this is not Mr. Z's opinions. This is not the Black Manosphere's opinions. According to Black Enterprise Institute, who got their information from the St. Louis Federal Reserve, single black women have the least amount of wealth in America. Right? So to the African women that were kind of doing this hopscotch between being, African and then being Black American and kind of mixing up the information and the data, well, at least for black people in America, black men who are gainfully employed on average earn more than black women, are more stable than black women, have more wealth than black women. When it comes to black men, both start more businesses than black women and employ more people than black women. I know everybody's going to get stuck on this. Well, black women have the fastest growing. It said fastest growing entrepreneurial rate. It did not say that black women have more than black men. Right? Black men still start more businesses than black women and employ more people than black women, have more wealth than black women, earn more than black women, are in less debt than black women. If I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, have better credit scores than black women. Huh? All of this angst and anger coming from black women across the diaspora. Apparently, we thought it was just the black women in the Western world thing, but apparently the second African black women get just a smidge of development, they start sounding like black women in America, start sounding like black women in the UK, start sounding like black women in Canada. We stuck with these loser ass men. And to all black women, I say this. Y'all know Mr. Z was gonna say it. Go end up with the white man then, because that's what it's about. Huh? All of this, what do men do? What do men, we got to clean up after them. And y'all say all of that. I guarantee you, if I send you a Henry Cavill that doesn't wipe his ass, you'll wipe his ass for him. Uh-oh. I guarantee you, if I send you Chris Evans, who doesn't wipe his ass and doesn't take showers but once a week, I guarantee you'll eat that. Z, you about to say it, I'm about to say it. You'll give him head even if he had penis cheese. Ooh, Z, you said that. You'll give him head after a week. I said it. Huh? I'm going to keep on saying it. All these people, and Martin Goldberg, I heard your dumbass. We'll pause right here. Let's address Martin Goldberg real quick. So Martin Goldberg puts out a video where he's speaking about demographics and whatnot, and he says he doesn't think that the black community is really 12% of America. He really thinks it's more like 20 or 25% of America. So once again, he's saying, hey, don't believe the census. I don't believe it. I think it's 20 or 25%. We'll pause on the pause right here. So there's two minds on this. Tariq Nasheed would probably agree with Martin Goldberg. I've heard him insinuate this before. Jason Black disagrees with Martin Goldberg. I've heard him speak on this before. We already know that Jason Black has traveled around this country driving, and he says, there's wide swaths of America where there's no black people in sight, right? But we've heard Tariq say he thinks they're undercounting. Now we know that I think it was last year they admitted, it was either earlier this year or it was last year, they admitted that they've undercounted black people by some 1.5 million, or what it was 5 million or 1.5 million. Either way, they said it's still 12-ish, 13-ish%. It's 14-ish%. It's not no 20% as Martin Goldberg has said, or 25%. Now let's pause right here. The reason why Mr. Z is bringing this up with Martin Goldberg then goes on to say, well, if it's really, and he mispronounces racism on purpose. I get it. He's not trying to get his channel channel to get a strike. I get it. Cool. And he says it's really racism. Then why are they pretty much producing still? The funniest thing is watching smart people and educated people become dumbasses just to keep on with the anti-blackness. It's if you want to make white people into dumbasses, including mestizos and these almost white Latinos, if you want to make them into dumbasses, start talking about black people and watch them start sounding like dumbasses just so they can avoid admitting the anti-blackness in the society and the system. Okay, let's continue. So Martin Goldberg says that as if there's not a Israel and Palestine, as if there's not a Kurdish population in Iraq, as if there's not a Uyghur population in China. Are these people not oppressed? Are these people still not producing? Uh-oh. Are these people not oppressed? Are these people not producing? What did the Israelis say they do? Don't they call it mowing the lawn or cutting the grass when they purposely murk off Palestinians? Because of the fear that the Palestinians will outproduce them, even though they got these people living in the most horrid conditions humanly possible. What the hell are you talking about, Martin Goldberg? I thought you were supposed to be smart. Huh? You want to make dumbasses out of white folks, everyone? You want to make dumbasses out of anti-black people? Just bring up black people and race and watch them start talking like dumbasses. Huh? And Saint Cyr says, don't forget my Kurds in Turkey. Z. No, Kurds live in multiple different countries. It's not just Iraq. You're right. They live in multiple different countries, and it's kind of one big region that they live in, but it's split up in multiple countries, and everybody refuses to give them their own land. Right? Huh. So when Martin Goldberg says this, just to dismiss black people and their plights in America, when he says that, that lets you know. See, Mr. Z knew it. I knew that's what he was on. It only took a matter of time, and he showed his ass. But of course, huh? Are the Uyghurs still not producing? Are Han Chinese still not moving Chinese into Uyghur territory? Huh? Are they not still sending Uyghur men and women into quote unquote re-education camps? What the hell are you talking about, Martin Goldberg? Boy, they want to minimize anti-blackness in America so bad. Well, if it's really about racism, then why are they still producing? Why are they still having kids? Look how much kids they're having. To the point where he says, you know what, I don't even think it's 12%. I really think it's like 25% of America that's black. Really? They gave you the numbers. Some 60% of America is white. Some 12, 13% is black. Somewhat 17 or so percent is Latino. Some 7, 8% is Asian. Was it 2 or so percent are whether they count Jews as white or not? Some 2% are small hats. I'm not sure about the indigenous population. There's a breakdown to this, Mr. Goldberg. You said black people like 1/4%. That would make black people. So if white folks are 60%, black folks are like 20% or quarter. That's 80 to 85%. Huh? So where do Asians and Latinos fit in? You're supposed to be the smart one, sir. If white folks are 60 and black folks are 20, guess what? That's 80% right there. So Latinos are what? So if they undercounting the black population, are they not undercounting the Latino population? Remember, everything I see says white non-Latino or white non-Hispanic, or however it's phrased. Huh? So how does the other 20% break down then? If black people are 20 to 25% and white folks are some 60%. So you're saying only 15 or so percent of America is Latino and then the other 5 are Asian? Where do indigenous come in? Huh? So we'll pause on that pause and continue, right? So shout out to Louis for bringing this to us. You hear this argument between black men and black women because there's an angst, there's an anger, there's a rage coming from black women because they can't be upper middle class and above white women, and white men aren't marrying them in any significant number. So the rage and the anger and the resentment that they're stuck in the black community with black underachieving men. Meanwhile, black men earn more than black women. Oh, but Z, not enough more. Isn't that what the young lady said that um Media Man covered? It's not enough more. We don't allow for black women to live out their upper middle class or rich or elite white women fantasies. Ain't that right, black men? You're a bum because black women don't get to live out their rich, elite, at the very worst upper middle class white women fantasies. Huh? Now that's for the women that are in the know. All these other women will swear to you that black women are doing better than black men. Why? Because y'all got some funky degrees? Black women, like every other women in America, minus maybe Asian women, possibly, have more formal education than their male counterparts. Black women, you're not the only one. White women have more formal education than white men. Latina women have more formal education than Latino men. And it's debatable whether Asian women have more formal education than Asian men. Black women, you're not the only one. But just like in every other race in America, or indigenous women have more formal education than indigenous men, that's also a fact. But just like every other group in America, black men earn more than black women, just like white men earn more than white women. Latino men earn more than Latinas. Asian men earn more than Asian women. Indigenous men earn more than indigenous women. That's the facts. Much of the rhetoric that we hear from black women is not only the gynocracy, it's not only that. It's because black women really feel like they're being dealt a horrible hand because they're stuck in this community with black men who are quote unquote underachieving. As St. Cyr says, quote unquote, exactly, quote unquote, underachieving. And they resent that. And they resent black men. And the quiet part out loud, they resent white men because white men were supposed to marry them. White men were supposed to take them out of the doldrums called the Blackistan community, right? Called the black community. And white men said, no, I could always come by and giggity and accurate. I could always come by and do what I need to do with you and then leave. You're not going to tell me no. Why marry you? Huh? So you hear all of this talk, and then we get to domestic work. But of course, and the unpaid labor of domestic work. And shout out to the brother who said it. But why get married if I could do all these things on my own? See, the very interesting thing that women are engaging in here in the black community in America, black women are still engaging in this, but it's a little bit more difficult because they've been so loud on social media over the past 20 or so odd years, and they've been so loud um overall society for the past 50, 60 years, is the moral high grounding. And what you saw with the African sisters is continuously doing one foot in, being very self-interested and very self-centered, while also playing the moral high ground game. You can't play both games at the same time, ladies. Huh? You can't play both games at the same time. And what you saw was women playing both games at the same time. Black women playing both games at the same time. Black women are both the moral center of the universe while also being highly, highly selfish and self-interested. While chastising black men for patriarchy and somehow being very self-interested and self-centered. What? Huh? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So this was about what, an hour and some, hour 15 some odd minutes, something like that, of what black people plus feminism plus capitalism looks like. It's women who earn enough but not enough. Z, what are you saying? Enough but not enough. Enough to barely sustain themselves, but not enough to prosper. Who have put the bar for hypergamy to the moon and resent men, black men in specific, for not being on the moon. Huh? It is the women. Once again, economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. Once again, this is not about the insecurity of men. This is about the insecurity of women. This is about women attempting to make hypergamy, or Mr. Z is phrasing that wrong, attempting to make what hypergamy is assortative mating. Absolutely not. Women said, yeah, I can be stable. I need you for luxury. And I will accept nothing less but luxury. Huh? Wow. To hear African descent women, African women. And by the way, all of this DV talk, I don't know what's going on in Africa, but in Black America, DV is largely bidirectional. DV is largely bidirectional. And when you focus on who initiates, it's women. Women initiate the majority of DV situations. Right? There's a lot of propaganda that's been going on in America. And Mr. Z, he gets it. I understand. The propaganda that was pushed was to elevate women. Right? You push this propaganda about how horrible men are so you can elevate women above the station that they were in because they were under the thumb of men, right? And now that women can talk for themselves, and now that there's a few women that can actually provide for themselves, huh? Now women are telling men, you can kiss my ass, right? The propaganda is deep. So we have Kamala Harris and Michelle Obama and Susan Rice and Condoleezza Rice and Oprah Winfrey and Beyonce, right? And Mariah Carey and rest in peace, Whitney Houston, right? Huh? You have figures like this, right? And Shirley Chisholm, and et cetera, and Rosa Parks, et cetera, and Afeni Shakur, right? And you have these people, and Asada Shakur, Mrs. Z couldn't get it out. You have these people, and so black women get to live vicariously through these characters. Meanwhile, your average black woman is struggling. Meanwhile, single, childless black women have the least amount of wealth in America. So yes, Rihanna might be worth $1 billion, and Beyonce might be married to a billionaire, and she's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, huh? And Janet Jackson have a son from some Arab billionaire, huh? Yeah, that might exist. And Michelle Obama could have walked right into the White House if she wanted to, and she's married to the first black president. Yes, all of that exists. And with that, once again, single black and single Latina women have the least amount of wealth in America. Huh? So we have a bunch of women, black women, who resent being stuck in the black community in their minds, being stuck in the black community with black men, being stuck in Blackistan with black men, being stuck in the quote unquote communita. Y'all know I hate that word. The communita with black men. Huh? And St. Cyr says they really are using men as an extra source of income. They are trying to drain your wallets. They're frenemies, I think you wanted to say. Oh, did I? No, that's not what you're trying. They're findom, findom, findoms. Okay, okay. Mr. Z can't pronounce it. I don't know. Can't pronounce it. But I'm gonna click that link when I. As a matter of fact, maybe I click that link now. Yo, give Z 1 second. Let's click that now, so we can have that in the archive. Okay, got it. All right. Yep, sounds about right. Receipt for what's that? $766 at a restaurant. Yep. And she said, this was a first date I had went on and I felt it was light. Uh, she said, this is a first date I went on and I felt it was light. Yeah. $766 receipt. And she felt it was light. Huh? Oh, FinDoms. Okay, like financial domination. A dom male. I know. Yeah, I know about the BDSM reference. I get it. Right? Huh? $766, and she said she thought that was light. So feminism plus capitalism. The second link is once again, like I said, was from Dr. Green Gorilla. So we already know, and I gotta reference this because y'all know Mr. Z likes to reference this. 26% of poor Americans are, and once again, this is regardless of race. This is not. This is race neutral. 26% of poor Americans are married. 39% of working class Americans are married, and 56% of middle class and above Americans are married. And those numbers are as of like 2018, so I'm pretty sure um, those numbers have changed a bit, but that's the trend. Once again, 26% of poor Americans, 39% of working class, 56% of middle class and above. Why do these numbers matter, Z? These numbers matter because it speaks to women. Say it again. Women. Say it one more again, Z. Women putting a price tag on marriage, putting a price tag on children, putting a price tag on companionship, putting a price tag on male anything. Once again, women. Women file for 70 to 80% of divorces. Women, huh? Women said that economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. Women said that. Meanwhile, all of these women are poor without money. I'm so hell, duh, they're poor without money. See, all of these women are poor without men. All of them, even white women, single white women have less wealth than married white women. Huh? So the African brother did a very interesting thing where where the one of the sisters tried to insult him by saying, "Oh, what are you 5'7" or whatever," some height joke, and he said, "Okay, well, aren't you ugly or aren't you fat?" I can't remember. I think he said ugly. He said ugly. He said ugly. And so the host, once again, being biased, of course, we expect her to be. That's when she got in the middle of the argument, right? Which speaks to a conversation in larger society where women get to jab at men because it's quote unquote punching up. Now we're in that weirdo talk. See, women get to insult men, especially in the black community. Women get to belittle men. Women get to all of this, right? Because it's quote unquote punching up, right? It's punching up when women insult men. It's punching down when men respond. Your masculinity gets questioned. Your manhood gets questioned. Your sexuality, of course, gets questioned. Especially in the black community. Y'all know how much black women like insinuating, implying, suggesting, or just outright saying that you're LGBTQ because you did something offensive to them. What's offensive to black women? Everything. Particularly everything a black man does. Any and everything. Hey, Trell, I don't make the rules. Trell says, how are they punching up, but men ain't ish? Trell, you looking for some type of consistency. Problem number one, right? You looking for it to make sense. Problem number two, huh? Saint Cyr, you ahead of me. I'm going there. And Saint Cyr says, you become sassy as soon as you don't shut up and take what they have to say. Provide, protect, and shut up is the order of the day. What day? Every day. Shout out to black women. Provide, protect, and shut up. Black women said provide, protect, and shut up, black men. And if you don't, then you're sassy. Huh? Black women said provide, protect, and shut up. And if you don't, then you're sassy or you're is any type of LGBTQ. Huh? Waffle says, nah, how they punching up if we're all 5'7"? Waffles, I don't make the rules. Huh? Real black gentleman says, feminism is an autoimmune disorder. Hysterical. Why does this matter? Why is Mr. Z here with the conversation? Once again, shout out to Louis Conyer, um, Red Pill Sleeper Cell, right? Louis, I almost forgot your different name, right? And what he bought us here today is because you see black American women and African women. I'm not sure what country they're from. That's why I'm saying African women engaging in the it's not fair we're stuck with black men in Blackistan conversation. Engaging in the what exactly are men good for? Why should we get married? And to the ladies, I say don't. Huh? I say don't. I'm pretty sure you would change your mind if I send that rich, tall, good looking white dude to you. regardless of his personality, regardless if he helps around in the house, regardless of any of that, his hygiene, I guarantee you going. Y'all know Mr. Z loves saying that the foil to all of this is white men. I'm gonna get into that if and when I review that Martin Goldberg video. That's the foil to all of this. Okay, y'all, I can't help it. The foil to all of this is white men, everyday regular white men. If they would get out of their um version of temporarily embarrassed millionaire, for white everyday white dudes, their version of temporarily embarrassed millionaire is that they think one day they'll be their rich white cousins. If they would just get out of that overnight, they could probably change all of this, but they won't, because they all wish that one day they could be their rich white cousins. They'll be their rich white cousins. Sarge Willie Pete spent a couple years trying to appeal to these white dudes. It's a waste of time and energy, because the best you'll get for the most part is Martin Goldberg. That bar is in hell. Continuing back to the women, right? The issue we have here with black women is that they've convinced themselves with their own propaganda. Black women have been smelling their farts for far too long. They've been inhaling their own flatulence for so long they actually believe the hype. It's now it's not just a belief for them, it's a fact. It's not just empowerment language, it's a fact. It's a fact for them that black women are doing better than black men. And so black women are holding the black community up on their shoulders by themselves. And because of that, all anger and rage and resentment that's directed to black men is justified. Huh? The anger, the rage, and the resentment directed towards black men is justified according to these type of black women, regardless if she's ADOS, regardless if she's any type of Haitian American, Jamaican American, any type of black, country, so sub-Saharan African, anything black in the UK, anything black in Canada, Afro Latina. The anger and the resentment at black men is justified because they're stuck in the black community, Blackistan, the quote unquote communita, with black men who are lesser beings than them. Huh? And that's what you heard expressed here. That's the feminism part. Where's the capitalism part, Z? What these women are telling you is, if you can't provide at the absolute highest level humanly possible, then why are you here? Huh? Provide, protect, and shut up. The provide, protect part is the capitalism part. That's old world. That's the patriarchal part. The shut up is the feminism part. That's the you provide, you protect, and you assert none of what comes with your provision and your protection. And that's women having a twofer. They get to participate in the patriarchy as much as they want, and they get to participate in the feminism as much as they want. Huh? So black people, apparently diaspora wide, need to participate in feminism plus capitalism and what it looks like. My equation, black people plus feminism plus capitalism equals what? And it equals feminarchy. Shout out to Lion. It equals Patriarchy by feminist specifications. Mr. Z patting himself on the back. Huh? It equals Portia polygamy, as Scott Galloway has said to us. What does Portia polygamy look like? It looks like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, and Henry Cavill having a Tinder account and having a zillion women on their Tinder account. It looks like what the dating divide told us. Women of color respond first to white men, then to men of their respective races. Huh? That's what it looks like. It looks like these women, black women from across the diaspora, raging about whether they should get married or not, which is only up for debate because we're not talking about elite rich white men. Oops. Huh? To the ladies, I say, stop threatening black men. Don't get married then. Huh? Find yourself like the middle-aged or older black woman that told you she divorced her husband because she thought she was doing better than him, and now she's single and lonely. And that's it. I saw her with some braids in her hair. Yeah, she still got a forceful voice, but yeah, MILF. Anyway, I said it. I said it. Right? Yeah, she still got a forceful voice. Yeah, she sounded like your high school teacher. But I'm hyped. Anyway, moving along. Huh? So these women have this angst and this anger and this rage and this resentment at black men because they feel like they're stuck in the black community with black men. They're stuck in the black world with black men. Huh? So I'm seeing the laughing emojis and I'm taking that as a you would too. That's what I heard. Right? For all of us, side note, for all of us that ever saw that clip, it was on Instagram. It's been around for maybe a couple years now, where it's the sister that it's a sister with some tiggle bitties, light skinned sister with some tiggle bitties, and she has like the caption that says, "What do you bring to the table?" And she lifts up both of the tiggle bitties and put them on the table, right? And then it's a darker skinned sister, very svelte, cute face, right? Very little, very petite little sister, dark skin, and she's trying to do the same thing, and it's funny. She's making it as a funny, but she's trying to like squeeze her little bee sting to put on the table, and she can't do it, and it's funny. And you know what Mr. Z thought to himself? Both of them. For any of us that ever seen the clip Mr. Z talking about, both of them. Alexa, play Future at the same damn time, please. Huh? Low volume Mel, you ain't never lied. Put it in the book. And low volume Mel says black women, aka temporarily embarrassed white women. Huh? And when we say temporarily embarrassed white women, I don't know how many black women really want to look like white women. Are there black women who want blonde hair, blue eyes? They want to literally phenotypically be white women? Yes. Yes. I would argue what black women really want is to practice white womanhood the way upper middle class and above white women do. Huh? They want the political position, the social, the political, obviously the economic position of upper middle class and above. And that is one thing the technocrats in the black community, and I would argue technocrats around the world are dealing with. They're reeling from women's liberation, causing them to want to be even more hypergamous. Y'all thought y'all were liberating them from hypergamy, and y'all only made them more hypergamous. Shout out to Dr. Richard Reeves. Y'all saw that interview that he did. Shout out to BGS who covered it. When Dr. Richard Reeves said, you know, you can't do this without breaking some eggs, without breaking some glass. What was he saying? Wait, y'all thought y'all could still, dear women, and I'm directing this once again to that panel. I didn't go off topic. You thought you could still practice hypergamy with equality? No. Huh? You thought you can't have hypergamy. That's why, Mr. Z, I know what I said. For those of you who caught that about a week ago, maybe more than a week ago, the era of hypergamy is dead. I remember me saying that. Y'all heard it right the first time. I'm going to do a whole stream about that eventually. If 40% of women already earn more than their male counterparts around America, that's not just Black America. If women are fighting for equality, if women are fighting men for the corner office and to be board member and to be promoted, right? And to be, shout out to lead attorney, to be lead attorney, huh? To get the bigger and better bonuses at work. If young women are fighting young men in colleges and university to be valedictorian, in high school to be valedictorian, huh? Then guess what? The era of hypergamy is dead. Huh? And women, if what you're saying is that if you don't get to marry hypergamously, then you rather not get married, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got an answer for your ass. Let the immigrants in. Huh? And this is the problem, Afro National. Afro National says, no hypergamy if we're all equal. And this is the problem. The problem that women now have, Black women in specific, but women across America have, is that the men in their socioeconomic demographic will marry down. They'll marry down. Now, it's not all, it's arguable, it's not even most, but it's enough, right? It's enough. We already know that people tend to marry within same sort of IQ level, same education level, same, not too far in class, but enough men break ranks that it hurts those women in that same class position, that same economic position. And that's their problem. Huh? That's why they talk about assortative mating and marrying on my level and equally yoked. Huh? Mr. Z already told y'all. It's classmate guarding. It's classmate guarding. That's why they try to. That is literally what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant thought she was engaging in with Nick Cannon and with Cam Newton. What she was telling them is y'all don't really get. She was shaming them for not marrying a woman like her. See, a woman like me would never let you have. I'm not gonna be no baby mama number 2 to you. I would never let you do that. Oh no, you're not gonna make my children share their resources with 4 and 5 other other baby mamas and 5 and 6 other kids, 7 other kids. Oh no, you should see. Oh, you should be married to a woman like me. Y'all didn't peep. That's exactly what she was engaging in, and a lot of those women engage in it. Amanda Seals tried to imply that once too. Huh? Huh? Absolutely not. Classmate guarding. Nope. It's not our fault that we could be earning some 150 a year and marry a woman that's earning 50, 60. When you dear ladies are earning 150, you sound like Real Talk with Yeti. What's the incentive? I want to be a kept woman of leisure. What does that have to do with the men? Once again, I didn't stray too far off the topic. I'm still speaking to that panel on Clubhouse. Huh? Did he really? And Saint Cyr, shout out to Body James um finessing Amanda Seals blockwork. You mean the rapper? Did he? Oh, you gotta get, I need details to this story. Right. If that's the case, right? Huh. And KMS says, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. KMS didn't say that. Mr. Z is saying that. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And KMS says, black women mad? Question mark shrugs. F them. Figuratively can't even sign off on literally anymore without thorough vetting. Unfortunately, too big of a risk. Hysterical, right? Wow. And Saint Cyr says, yeah, she was holding him down while he was on probation or something like that. Uh, and I don't need to laugh at Amanda Seals. Here's the issue. We have way too many black women speaking down on black men, and this is what they're actually engaging in. Shout out to Dr. Richard Reeves. What did he say? Preferences and revealed preferences. Ain't that right, Miss Amanda Seals? Huh? Preferences and revealed preferences. Huh? And I put James in the same kind of lane as Larry June in Currency. He's in that kind of like swaggy lifestyle rap, like the really smooth instrumentals, the really laid back, really chill ass vibe beats, right? Mr. Z is not a smoker, but the type of stuff that you smoke to, that you chill to, right? I get it, Amanda Seals, you saw the vision, but apparently he's still not with you. I wonder what happened. Uh-oh. Huh? Uh-oh. Well, and back to what KMS is. So, yes, black women are mad. Black women are mad because they're stuck in the black community, in Blackistan, in the quote unquote communita with black men. Of course they're mad. They're livid. They're livid. Okay, Saint Cyr, give me 1 second. I'm gonna click that, put it in the archive. Right. And Saint Cyr gave us the link. Oh, okay. So I remember seeing the thumbnail for this interview, but I never watched it. Y'all gives you 1 second. Let's listen to this. Y'all gives you 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. All right. Y'all gives you 1 second. Give me a second. All right. Let's play this. Mm, mm, mm.
Weather alert. Special rain warning in about 10
That laugh is real. Oh, oh man. And y'all gives you 1 second. My technical difficulties right now because I'm trying to do something. Here we go. Okay, and we're back. Wow, Saint Cyr, she did say it. Hey, thank you, Lion. And that's exactly that's what I heard. And Lion says that's her admitting she can't fully optimize her hypergamy. So what Amanda Seals, and we're deviating from the subject a little bit to address this. So what Amanda Seals is trying to do here, and I get it, women, I get it, right? Is because she can't date and marry hypergamously, what she is doing here is attempting to, give a little nudge to someone she sees potential in. I see it. I see it. I get it. I get it, Amanda Seals. And actually, that's not a bad, her strategy isn't bad. Here's the problem. It doesn't work if you're insufferable. Whoopsie. Really, what he says is toasty, but Mr. Z is saying, whoopsie. Huh? It doesn't work if you're insufferable. It doesn't work if you're a nag. It doesn't work if you're annoying. See, if you can't end up with the dudes at the top, cool. Right? Especially for an Amanda Seals. Then you catch somebody with some potential and you back them. Right? And you hope that they return the favor as they're climbing, they take you with them. Or maybe they never get to where you are, but they look out and you get, your child in running ring from the deal. I get it, Amanda Seals. I get it. I get it. Here's the kicker. You can't be insufferable. Uh-oh. You can't be a nag. Mr. Z, you about to say it. Ooh. You have to know when to shut up. Uh-oh. And does Amanda Seals look like the type of woman that knows when to stop talking? Lance's emphasis on the hope. Before we even get to the hope, does Amanda Seals look like the type of woman to stop talking? If you have her at the music video shoot with you, does it look like Amanda Seals knows how to stop talking? If she's backstage, does Amanda Seals look like she knows how to stop directing and stop talking? Does she look like she's going to kill the vibe and kill your joy right before you go on stage? Fine. You got a concert. It's you, Wiz Khalifa, Currency, and Larry June. Do it look like they want to be anywhere near Amanda Seals? Huh? Y'all got a special guest. Uncle Snoop's gonna pop up. Does it look like Snoop wants to be in a conversation with Amanda Seals? Huh? Rick Ross is about to pop up and he's gonna do the song with Currency and Wiz Khalifa, So High. Neo's about to fly in too. They're about to do the So High remix. For those of you, that's actually a real song. Right? I think was it Super High or was it So High? I think it was Super High. The remix was with Currency, Wiz Khalifa, Rick Ross, and obviously Neo on the hook. Does it look like any one of them wants to be in a conversation with Amanda Seals? Huh? So to Amanda Seals, I say, I get it, right? I get it. But you forgot one of the important parts of being an asset, not being insufferable. Huh? Not being insufferable. Not being annoying. Not being mean. Not being overbearing. Huh? Anton said it before. He's one. I agree with him 100% right when he was speaking about Ebony K. Williams. Yeah, that's great for an employee. That's great. We would love to have you on our team, right? That's great for an employee. Being an office manager, that'd be great. Being a girlfriend or a wife, absolutely not. Saint Cyr says, you know it's coming. Saint Cyr says, here's the part where you tie it all back into the main subject, right? Lithium, exactly. Talk to me nice, right? And here's how we tie it all back to the main topic. As KMS said, black women mad? Amanda Seals, you mad? To the African sisters and to the ADOS sisters on the panel, you mad? Shrugs, F them. Uh-oh. Because your anger is illegitimate. Your anger is that you're not a white woman. God damn, Z. Your anger is that the white dudes ain't scooping y'all up when all y'all talk about how much better y'all are than black men. Your sojourner truth ass conversation, the white men ain't hearing it. They don't care. Huh? Should black women marry? No, not if you don't want to. Will there be consequences? Absolutely. Absolutely. You better believe it. Are most black women prepared for those consequences? No. They don't even see it coming. No pun intended on that one. Huh? Should black women marry? Nope, not if you don't want to. Huh? Dr. Cheyenne Bryant isn't married, and look at her rambling on Cam Newton and on Nick Cannon. Huh? Because that was great advertising for a future wife at 41 years old. Huh? Shout out to black men. We be trying to tell them they don't want to hear nothing we saying, and they got to deal with the consequences, and they turn around and fuss at us. We told you. Corey tried to tell you how long ago? That was what, a decade ago? Huh? Corey tried talking to you like a decade ago. You ain't hear him. Now you 41, ranting on Nick Cannon and Cam Newton because they not married to a woman like you. Huh? Amanda Seals did an interview with the Breakfast Club years ago, and Amanda Seals admitted that Charlemagne made her cry once because he essentially said something like, yo, the way you be acting, you ain't gonna never get married, or you're never gonna find somebody, or something like that. And she said, that made me cry, that made me whatever. Ma'am, that was what I want to say. That interview was at least 5 years ago, something like that, at least a good 5 years ago. It got to be 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago, something along those lines. It was more than 4 years ago because it was before COVID. Here we are years later, and Charlemagne was correct. Here we are years later, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and Corey Holcomb was correct. See, these men look like sexist, misogynistic a-holes and you just let time keep going, and they're correct. They're right. They're on the right side of history. Huh? And now what? Hmm? And once again, thank you for the super chat, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, or the Cash App. Right? Huh? Huh? So you have these African women who just don't want to hear what the brothers are saying. And by the way, the clip got cut short, so I'm gonna check and see if Louis have the rest of it. But the clip got cut short. Pretty sure we're not gonna get too much different than what we already see here. Dear ladies, you don't have to get married. You don't have to marry black men. Deal and eat the consequences, though. And there are consequences. Once again, single black women have the least amount of wealth in America. There are consequences. You speak, and what you heard from all of these women was them speaking as if men are a burden. What you heard from the African sister, what she said, one of the women said, "Don't give men nothing." Y'all heard it right. I told y'all, right? One of the white dudes has said it before. Don't do anything for the express pleasure of men. You heard it. They said it. Fine. Continue. The African sister said, "Match their crazy." Ma'am, men are 20% bigger and stronger than women. Well, the bigger part in the black community, that's debatable. Oops. Men are 20% stronger than women. Are you sure you want to match men's crazy? That's assuming that men are crazy. Fine. Let's go with it. Men are crazy. You're telling women to match men's crazy? I promise you they just be talking. Are you sure you... So you and other women on that panel brought up DV rates. And now you're telling men that women are going to match their crazy. Are you sure this is wise and sound advice, ma'am? Assuming you're correct, which you're not, that men are crazy and women are not. Now you're telling women to match men's crazy. You see how y'all talk? That faux empowerment, man, it got y'all looking like crazy people. Huh? Thank you. And Leon says she cried, speaking about Amanda Seals, she cried because Charlemagne is the class of men she wants. She cried because he represents the status, I don't know, use this, status. It's the feeling of being locked out. If I said it would mean anything to her, if I said it wouldn't mean anything to her. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Right. But no, I mean, it's these women, right? It's the women on the panel also. They're throwing a temper tantrum. Should women get married? Should black women get married? It's a weird form of you can't fire me, I quit. I don't want to get married anyway. Okay. Who's forcing you to? And they do the same thing we always see women do. If men don't bow, they threaten not to have children. Modern technology got an answer for that ass. Huh? Modern technology has an answer for that. It's going to be fascinating watching women who think they're threatening men with this not having children thing when these artificial wombs come online. When the technology, if it doesn't already exist, it already exists. If it doesn't already exist, when the technology can gestate children or babies or the unborn, y'all keep on threatening. Of course, by the way, Side note, it is raining because, of course, it's raining because it's South Florida, right? Huh? So Leon says, "Wow, Z, you just created a theory. Literally, if you can't find me, I quit. Theory. Oh, I think you meant fire. If you can't fire me, I quit. Or you can't fire me, I quit. Yeah, no, I've been saying that for a little while now. The if you can't fire me, I quit. The I guess we're gonna call it theory now. But black women engage in that with white men. Black women engage in that with black men, right? It's the ego protection, right? There's what they say when you poll them, and then there's what we actually see. Huh? You can't fire me, I quit. See, when you overtly ask them a question, they're gonna tell you, no, I don't really care about this, I don't really care about that. But in reality, huh? You can't fire me, I quit. You can't fire me, I quit. And Lion says, they don't want to get married. We don't either. So you trying to take the whole thing or not? But we know they do. They do want to get married. They just got an insane price tag on it. And if you let them go through a thousand billion trillion zillion things on their list, the 1,000, the 1,000,000, the 1,000,000,000, the 1,000,000,000 things on their list, they look foolish. And they know they look foolish, so they do the you can't fire me, I quit. How do you know, Z? Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. We watched it on Kevin Samuels' channel night after night after night. Light skin, dark skin, heavy set, slim, educated, not educated, West Coast, East Coast, not even in America, black, white, Latina, even an Asian or two. Huh? How do we know, Z? So what do the women engage in? You can't fire me, I quit. Huh? But of course. Huh? So what did feminism plus capitalism bring us? Except a bunch of highly educated, formally educated, insufferable, mean, condescending, rude, entitled brats. Dear developing and developed world, quote unquote developed world, a bunch of entitled, spoiled brats. Late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? A bunch of entitled brats. Mean, condescending, antagonistic, say it one more, Ginzy, antagonistic, rude. Even other women call y'all rude because y'all be rude. Huh? Women that get off on belittling men. What did the young lady say on cruise season? If I earn more than you, I will belittle you. Her words. Yes, that's a black woman. Huh? Leon says, Z, we have talked about the rich auntie theory. Now women are living it. You mean the barely stable auntie theory? The struggling auntie theory? The barely stable auntie theory? Huh? You can't fire me because I quit. These women speaking about, you know, should black women get married? No, not if you don't want to. Dear ladies, no, not if you don't want to. Is marriage beneficial to women? No, not if you don't want it to be. Right? Huh? Women file for 70 and 80% of divorces. If she's college educated, it's more like 90% because her delusions didn't get met. And I think I'm gonna actually link that short in the description box. It's a short that Mello and Chase did. Shout out to that couple. I like watching their videos, right? And so um Mello is she walks out the door and um which one of them was it first? Which one was it? It wasn't accountability. It was reality. Reality was standing there, and then I think what was the next one? It wasn't accountability. Anyway, she was running from reality and another one, and then she reached her hand out to delusion. Y'all will see what I'm talking about in a minute. What's going on, Passport OG? What's going on, Shay? Right. And when y'all get a chance, both of y'all could check out the link in the description box. It's a long one. Mr. Z is good for having people watch 2 and 3 hour long streams, but the stream was only an hour long, right? So yeah, and y'all excuse my background because of course, right? So it's a stream of clubhouse conversation, Africans and ADOS, and I want to say one or two maybe black Brits speaking about is marriage beneficial to women? Obviously, it's black women. So in this case, because of context, is marriage beneficial for black women? And the black women pretty much say no. Why? Huh? Huh? And Mr. Z says, don't get married if you don't want to, but there's a consequence to that. All these women who say I could do bad by myself, they think it's figurative. No, literally, you will be doing bad. They think they're using a term. No, you literally will do bad by yourself. If you're a black woman, once again, single black women have the least amount of wealth in America, according to the St. Louis Federal Reserve. Huh? And this leads us to our super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And I was about to say hit our super chat. And a split Jim says, full finances, full freedom, full feelings. Huh? And that's exactly what we're living. Trill over here selling me out. He says, write 8 2-hour long streams and then 30 minutes to watch watch 4 3-hour streams. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'll be messing up. Right. Huh. And Lion says, I'm sorry, Z. I'm sorry, Z. Like I said, at this point, black men and black women just aren't right for each other. I don't think that's what's going on, Lion. To tell you the truth, I think what we have here, we're engaging in this conversation, but for the most part, it's black people trying to come to terms with that you got priced out. And I don't really think we got priced out. I think black women are throwing a temper tantrum because they refuse to get down on black men's program if you're not rich and you don't buy their compliance. Huh? Notice what Mr. Z didn't say. I did not use the word submission. Black women are throwing a temper tantrum because in their mind, you don't earn enough, you don't have enough to buy. I'm using these words on purpose. I'm using very specific words to buy their compliance and to buy their cooperation. I did not say submission because they're not going to submit no matter how much money you put on the table because you're not white men. But at least for them to comply for a little while, right? And for them to cooperate, at least for a little while, huh? Black women are throwing a temper tantrum because they got to where the rest of women, I would argue, in the developed world are heading to anyway. We said it earlier. What is it, Z? You can't have hypergamy and equality at the same time. Black women are throwing a temper tantrum because they're realizing you can't have hypergamy and equality at the same time. They're livid. Lithium, this is true. And Lithium says they were trained that way. It's not their fault. BGS. Right? All women in developing and developed countries are going to get here eventually. Once they get into the workforce, once they start earning their own money, once the legal environment opens up to them, they can enter the labor force. You see an issue here. Women want to practice hypergamy, but they also want equality. They want feminism, but they also want certain parts of patriarchy. Huh? And some of these things are mutually exclusive. You cannot have hypergamy and equality. It doesn't work that way. The math don't math. That's why Mr. Z speaks on the social math often. The math does not math. Passport OG, you could clip that. Huh? Compassionate, you could clip that. The math does not math. The issue that women across the developing world and the developed world, the quote unquote advanced societies of planet Earth have, is that they cannot reconcile the math. How do I get hypergamy and equality? How do I get certain parts of patriarchy and feminism? The math is not mathing. Right? Charles says math, not math. Right? How do I get provide, protect, and shut up? Huh? This is an issue that women will continue to have. Huh? This is an issue that women will continue to have. Is marriage beneficial to women? What women are showing us, once again, economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. Once again, that's women's perspective, is that women said, yeah, marriage is beneficial if the men have it financially. If the men are financially well endowed, then yes, marriage is beneficial to women. And everything else comes afterward. Huh? His personality, his time with family, right? His concern for family, all of that comes afterward. What is most important, according to women, is his ability to provide financially. There is so much data on that. Dear women, that's what you're saying, not what the men are saying. We're not speaking about what the men are saying right now. We're speaking about what the women are saying. The women said the money first. Huh? Huh? Is marriage beneficial for women? Well, according to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, single black women have the least amount of wealth in America, right? And because, as a split Jim says here in the super chat, thank you for the super chat once again, the propaganda that's been pushed to black women has them having full finances, full freedom, and full feelings. Huh? Full feelings, full finances, full freedom. But it doesn't matter when they can live vicariously through Nicki Minaj, through Glorilla, through Meg Thee Stallion, through Sexy Red, huh? Through Beyonce, through Doja Cat, through Sweetie, huh? Oh yeah, them parasocial relationships are mug, right? And Saint Cyr says, talk about them parasocial relationships, Z. And then they're getting their advice from the Real Talk with Yannies of the world. Oh boy. Real Talk with Yanni really put up a clip of a black man that was just talking out of his ass in attempts to empower black women, to big up black women, to compliment black women, and to punch down on black men. But of course, I forgot, for them, it's not punching down on black men, it's punching up on black men, right? Meanwhile, your newlywed black men are marrying outside of the black race at about 25%. But of course they are. Why would they stay when there's a bunch of Real Talk with Yanni black women running around the black community? Huh? And Compassionate ask, is it possible for, I think you to have, I think what you meant to say, is it possible to have stable mating and dating with egalitarianism that comes with industrialization? Actually, we'll leave that question highlighted for a little bit. That's an interesting question. Possible to have stable mating and dating with egalitarianism that comes from industrialization. I don't think so. Because I think the socialization that would have to happen with women, we're just not going to engage in. Right? But, and I would offer to everyone, look at our environment now. We've been wagging our fingers at the men for decades. When it comes time to speak to the women about what egalitarianism or what equality actually looks like for them, no one wants to do it. This is what Anne Marie Slaughter said. When it comes time to talk to the women about what egalitarianism really looked like for them and what it looks like to marry a man who's financially maybe less than them, they jump off the train. They can't do it. They don't think those men are manly. That's what a white woman said. Huh? So I don't think we refuse to socialize the women to engage in this. We just refuse to. And I think it would take a heavy socialization. I don't think it's just one saying from your grandma or your your mother telling you, hey, by the way, you're gonna go to school, and you just be prepared. Maybe the man that you meet that's gonna be the love of your life doesn't earn what you earn, or he doesn't have the status you do. No, it's gonna take way more than that. And our society just refuses to do it. Huh? And that, I think that's okay, but then eat the consequences, right? Eat the consequences. So, and that's the problem. Our society doesn't want to also eat the consequences. And one of the consequences are men that become recluse, are men that become minimalist, are men that only produce for them. That's why Dr. Richard, he let the cat out of the bag with that one. It's a man's job to overproduce. That's what manhood is. No, we're not doing it. He let the cat out of, when he said that, that let Z know exactly what they're really on. Oh, that's y'all issue. Huh? Y'all can afford for the women to not overproduce. You can afford for the women to underproduce, but you can't afford for the men to do it. Huh? The whole house of cards comes crumbling down. You can only patch it up with only so many immigrants, but when the places where the immigrants are coming from, it's just like drilling for oil and fracking. All the easy oil, we already got much of the easy oil. Now we got to start fracking and start looking for oil in far off places. The same thing. So where the immigrants are coming from, they're also experiencing demographic decline. Now what? Huh? The issue they have is that the women said, I'm not having 3 and 4 children for these men that you told me can't buy me, dear America. And I use the word buy on purpose. Huh? So to answer Compassionate's question, no, I don't see it changing. I think we're going to continue down this road, and I don't think this is I don't actually think that this is the end of humanity. To believe it or not, I think we will find ways to mitigate with it, with technology. And at what's going to happen is that men and women will find ways to cleave off each other. We just will find ways to produce human species without each other. I think what science and technology is going to be able to produce is that women will truly be able to live life without men, and they're going to suffer because of it. I think the goal here is for women to produce the acolyte. Yeah, the Star Wars franchise joint that I still ain't watched yet. Huh? And women will suffer. Black women, namely. Huh? I don't think this is the end of humanity. I don't. I think we're far more resilient. I think what's going to happen is what you see happening. What you see happening in the black community will happen worldwide, and it will be with more lifelike, human-like robots. Is what men will do as more as this feminist idea spreads. Is what men will do is the scientists, the rogue engineers will create human-like robots for humans, and men will be ecstatic about it and women will not. Huh? That's all. And so the elite men will still have access to women. Everyday men will buy some type of whatever the hell robot that's human like for him to have fun with and for him to have conversations with when he want to have conversations with someone, for him to have a companion. And women will try to do the same thing, but their bar for fulfillment is far higher, so they'll never be happy. They'll be miserable as hell. Men will be happy. Forget content. Men will be happy, and the gap between women and men in finances will increase. Huh? It's closing now. I suspect it'll increase again, and that's just what will be. The science and the technology will be beautiful. It is going to be one of those weird ass, um, techno dystopian futures. I think that's what the future looks like for you. When you add feminism plus capitalism, I think there are TV shows that we reference, there are animes that we reference. If y'all recall, even when I reference Iron Blooded Orphans, the Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, if y'all recall, um the planet was separated in different regions, and it was kind of like this different economic zones, almost different regions of the world that were controlled by a family, by families, right? It wasn't so much nations anymore, or at least there was something that superseded the nation, and it wasn't once again a political body. It was more like economic zones, if I'm not mistaken, that were controlled by families. So once again, elite men. So we'll just go back to some type of weird capitalist slash feudal. Z, that don't even make any sense. Yes, it does. Huh? And then when you couple that with something like cyberpunk, yeah, it makes sense. And if that's what women want to rush into the future of, fine. And if this channel still exists, and if this video still exists, far be past and beyond Z's life, whoever comes up on this, we're in 2024. I said it. Huh? Y'all heard right. I said it. Huh? When the only people that are really getting married are the elites, right? When the only people ordering their children, you heard right, are people that have it like that, and they're ordering their children. They're going to pick up their children like you go pick up a car. Huh? At worst, like you go pick up a car. At best, like you go pick up a dog or a cat from the local shelter. Huh? When that's our future, y'all heard it. Dear women, remember you didn't fight against it. Dear black women, remember you did not fight against it. Your resentment at black men and white men for not making you upper middle class, rich, and elite white women was so great. You willingly and enthusiastically walked into this future for your daughters, right? Thank you, Leon. You know what I'm doing tonight? And Leon says they have released 3 different Gundam English dubs on Netflix this week. Actually, Mr. Z might play Forza too. It depends, right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat or the Cash App, right? Huh. So to that panel, it looked like Mr. Z went way off the topic. I didn't. Is it beneficial for women, namely black women, to get married? Not if you don't want to. We already know that sex is a stress reliever. We already know that single black women have the least amount of wealth in America, right? We already know there are tangible and intangible benefits to marriage, even for women. Yes, even for black women. Yes, even for black women that are married to black men, right? But if black women say, and if this panel is saying that if they can't be with the rich white dude, then screw it. No pun intended on that one. Then so be it. And to those women, I say, eat the consequences. And maybe okay, you're gonna be okay. Watch your sisters and your girlfriends eat the consequences. And just like Mr. Z has said already, cheer them on because y'all are obsessed with empowerment language. Y'all are obsessed with the language of liberation, particularly liberation from black men. Huh? Afro nationalist says this dude spin humanoids and androids in 3024. Hysterical, right? So y'all heard Z. Let these women eat cake, as Lion is saying. And we need to dead this. Look, man, everywhere these people are going, every corner you turn is this talk of black women that earn more than black men. The propaganda is deep. It's that widespread. That propaganda is deep. These people, I'm, when Mr. Z is talking, understand these people, they're not just spreading this because they don't believe it. They really believe that black women earn more than black men. Tyler Perry really thought that. Rebecca Lynn Pope, that's debatable, to be honest with you. Rebecca Lynn Pope is debatable. But this young brother, he probably really thought that. The clip that I'm gonna set it up so that maybe we could do this tomorrow or maybe Friday. But they really do think black men earn less than black women. Black men are the burden. They really bought into black men are especially straight black men, particularly straight black men, are the weakest link. That's the narrative. Straight black men are the weakest link. That article came out years ago, and those people meant it. Huh? Unfortunately for them, it's actually black men holding the black community down. Black men have the black community on their shoulders. Huh? And Zavi says, and thank you for the super chat. Did you peep that video on X by that woman named Clark? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. No, no. You could go ahead and put the link in the comments. I'll check it out. All right. And so, you know, on that note, y'all, I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. We're already hitting the 2 hour mark. Um, Shout out to Louis, right? Red Pill Sleeper Cell for bringing this to us. These are African women, y'all, and you hear how they sound. Is marriage beneficial? I guess to a bunch of black women, um, anything short of being with the white man isn't beneficial. Anything short of being with any non-black man, particularly the white man, isn't beneficial. Um, Not being politically, socially, economically a upper middle class, rich or elite white woman isn't beneficial. I hear you, right? I hear you. I get it, right? You said you dropped the link. Oh, wait, you sent it to my email or you dropped it in the comments, the regular comments? Give me a second. Let's see. Can't see anything yet. All right. I'll check. I'll check. Right. So, GC says Pan African bros in tears. Look, the virus known as feminism is spreading. It's the hypocrisy for me, right? You said it's in the chat. Give me a second. Wait a minute, Zarbi. Did I miss a comment from you earlier? Because I don't see any. Was it from you or was it from someone else? Right. So yeah, the Pan African brothers. Look, they have these rose tinted glasses on. Number one, number two, giggity rose tinted glasses. They have these rose tinted glasses on. Number one, number two. If they're not, they're placating, right? They're pandering. Shout out to AB Media. They're panda bears. Oh, you said okay. Email them to me. Thank you, Zavi. Um, right? They're panda bears. Dr. Umar Johnson know better, but he's pandering. He knows what it is, but he's pandering, right? A lot of these brothers know better, but they're pandering. And even for the ones that aren't pandering, that comes at a cost, right? So, look, y'all, I'm not going to, once again, belabor this too much. Z got stuff to do. Um, Shout out to Louis for sending this to us and tagging me and BGS in it. This is going to keep on happening no matter where you go on planet Earth. It's going to be women trying to do this 1 foot in patriarchy, 1 foot in feminism, right? Because they want men to be paymasters, but they want equality also. But then they want those men that are paymasters not to assert any of the power that comes with that, right? So, shout out to all of those people and shout out to all of the Africans, because I was there for the conversations. All of the Africans that kept on talking like ADOS women are so rude and so condescending and so mean and so whatever because it was some type of failing of ADOS men. Uh-oh. What, y'all thought Mr. Z wasn't going to bring that up? Huh? What happened? I was there for that for those conversations. Huh? And for y'all implying and suggesting it, I was there. What happened? Huh? And Mr. Stewart, thank you for the cash app. Thank you for the cash app. Right? I ain't gonna say your first name. I ain't trying to put you out there like that. Right? And then, and by the way, I continue to do that. If your government's on your cash app, I won't say your whole name. I'll say either your first name or your last name, but I won't give both. Right? So yeah. Right? So, on that note, y'all, we'll pause right here. Y'all seen it? Click. By the way, and for those of you who never listened to Green Gorilla's decline of the family stream, it was fire. That is why that is the second link. I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna link this thing, like I said, to the end of my days. It's a must listen. It's a, you know how you hear must read. It's a must listen. A must listen. There we go. Not musty. Must listen. And it puts into context what capitalism or neoliberal capitalism, and for the way I think of it, what capitalism plus feminism equals, right? And it has good references and everything. So y'all go ahead and give that a listen. And you will, when you give that a listen, and then you listen to, and it's up to you whether you want to listen to this, to the stream from Louis first, or whether you want to listen to the stream from Green Gorilla first. I would suggest listening to the stream from Green Gorilla first, even though I put its second link, and I'm going to leave it as a second link, because it'll put into context what you're listening and the angst that you hear from the women. It will put into context why you hear that coming from the ladies, right? This is why we have the PhDs in our space. Because once I heard those women ranting on and going off, all I'd heard was the parts about DV and the parts about domestic labor and all of that's neither here nor there. That's very unimportant, to be honest with you. Z, you saying DV talk is unimportant for the context? No, it's not, because their real issue is that they're trying to reconcile having whatever resources they have, having whatever access they have, and men earning more than them, and in their mind being quote unquote suitable suitors. They're trying to reconcile equality, egalitarianism, and hypergamy. Once again, black people plus feminism plus capitalism equals exclamation point, question mark. It equals what, everyone? It equals what you saw on that Clubhouse panel. And on that note, everyone, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all night. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, and I'll try to set up everything for the. And it's really it's interesting because it's only a minute long short from Yanni, but I'll still try to cover it because there's so much to say about what this brother was saying, right? So we'll pause right here, and y'all have a great, great rest of y'all night. And Mr. Z out. All right, everyone.